1850 Whitney Cummings. She got successful too fast. I think that's what it was, because she got a network show at 27. She might have been doing comedy for 6 years, and that's where I've always said she's so successful, so beautiful, and still seems like neurotic.
She's a comedian, and you're forgetting she's a woman who dealt with bullshit that you're just never gonna have to deal with in that industry.
Yeah. Did you guys see her new special?
No.
Okay.
She's a woman. I'm not gonna watch it. I think we all knew the answer there.
He gives this stupid deep speech.
I think we all knew the answer there.
Oh, that's great.
You know how we talk about things that just are doing the right things to just not be in the news. Like Scientology must be up there as textbook for just keep his name out of people's mouths or being mentioned
because they're so litigious. I think that's the key. Am I wrong?
Any slander or
and
something.
They've done such a good job. First of all, they have a secret on you, presumably.
Yeah.
And they've done such a good job. They started the Richard Gere fucks gerbils thing, puts gerbils up his ass. That is a Scientology. When he left, they were like, well, you're getting a rumor spread about you, and we know it's true.
Hope you like
because
gerbils.
we spread that rumor, you know?
We'll start it in Milwaukee. Yeah, I also think the litigious is like, if you're just constantly, like, no one wants to constantly be...
Whatever they're doing it right. Whether they're bad or good or whatever.
But what do you mean? They've gotten terrible press. Like, horrible press.
feel like-
press so bad that it's, like, sunk their religion.
Has it?
Pretty much.
I think they're very successful.
They are not successful at all.
Oh, then I'm talking my ass here. I thought they were just quietly owning the world.
At one point, they were very successful. They were moving out. They were in Africa. They were in France. Did you not see Going Clear?
Did you say Nazi?
Nazi,
enough,
yeah.
fair
Did you not see Going Clear?
I've seen it, but I don't remember.
Anyways, they talk about it, how they're like, or maybe it was a podcast I listened to. I don't know. They were like going out on mission work, to spread their word. And a big part of...
and they got kicked out.
A big part of Scientology was this going out to recruit people.
But that's a big part of most religions, other than yours.
I mean, it's a big part of...
Well, isn't it? Like, Mormons have missionaries, Christians have missionaries.
Sure.
I'm just saying, like, Judaism, maybe Buddhist, and Taoism.
Okay. Yeah,
like,
no, that's
half
fine.
of them push their religion,
But
right?
they don't have those anymore. Mm-hmm. And most of the buildings that Scientology owns, where we think they have schools, they're empty.
Oh, they're like China.
They have
They just
lot
own
of
the real estate.
They want to seem like they're a very big and I'm going to get fucking... assassinated by Scientology. But they want to seem like they're a big, successful world religion, like you think they are, Kamar.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Do you think they're on the ropes?
They're floundering. Oh, for sure. Dude, they got, like, nobody besides the Catholic Church has gotten as much bad press as they have, man.
I had a totally different perception.
Well, think about it, like, with all the Miscavige stuff and, like, Tom Cruise going crazy.
Or did he go crazy?
Do you think there's a lot of, like... and then they have everybody in that religion has all like there's some scandal about them, man. It's crazy.
I know, but they keep on trucking. You think it's something so full of shit.
Hold on.
Where so many things happen would be exposed and just fall apart.
Is your argument that there's too many scandals for them to be a successful religion? Because I think the Christianity is like, hold my fucking beer.
I was just pointing out, like, it's not a big religion, but I guess it's filled with Hollywood stars, and that's why there are so many scandals, because they're prone to that already,
They might also be so rich that, like, because it's all about money, isn't it?
What?
I don't want to say all religions, but, there's a lot of money behind all of them.
Oh, for sure.
Or most of them,
Well,
right?
that's why this religion was started, because they wanted
money.
a tax
Yeah,
break.
I get it. Yeah. But that was my point with this one specifically, is it's really all about money, and they seem to have it in droves. Like, even if you're like, those buildings are empty, they own those buildings, and they're high value property, right?
For sure, because at some point in their buildup, they were very successful. There's no doubt about it. But after all these movies come out, and when you have, what's her name? Dunham? No. The girl from King of Queens, she has a whole show just about exposing, like...
Yeah.
There was a whole industry...
On the throwbacks on the Patreon exclusively.
There was a whole industry built on exposing
Scientology.
Yeah. Like, I'm telling you that nobody's doing that for Mormons. Nobody's doing that for the Church of Latter-day Saints. Nobody's doing that for... You know what I'm saying?
We can't know, but I'd like to know the rankings. Just in all the religions,
the world religions, who's the most powerful?
No, maybe just in
I mean, the Vatican has their own country.
America.
I'm
it's
assuming
Christianity.
Catholicism
It's
is
Christianity for sure.
or whatever
Catholicism,
you wanna
yes,
call it,
yes.
Yeah.
By a long shot.
Then the Mormons.
No,
No,
you
then
might at this
probably
point.
the
You might at
Jews.
this point Muslims.
Yeah. I think the Jews.
I don't think you guys have enough.
We own Hollywood, man.
Yeah, but we're not talking about money.
That was the.
We said how many
no,
people.
But that,
Isn't that what
no,
we're talking
I thought
about?
he said most powerful.
I don't. Yeah.
Okay, we're
I haven't
talking most
defined. I haven't defined how we rate them.
Right, I see.
Well, if we're talking
it's
most
not
powerful, it's your
Judaism
people.
for sure. No, but if it's not by numbers, yeah. I mean, we don't want members, right?
No, that's why I was saying. That's why I was saying I don't think Judaism.
So
if we're talking,
two metrics that you could. I don't know what they are. That property they own, probably the Catholic Church, and number of people going.
You know how you can probably tell, you know what the microcosm is, Kamar? It's like who rules the roost in prisons. And then just take those denominations of people.
Absolutely,
And,
absolutely. Of course,
you mean what religion?
yeah, like
it's a perfect social experiment going on that you can extract.
So
what happens
who's
in
in
humanity.
charge in prison? That's who's in charge on the outside.
We still don't know. So we'll
No,
move
it's
on.
not true. It's a bad.
And it's great. It's gold.
Well, I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure it holds true. Kamar is what I'm saying.
It doesn't have to.
Okay.
Epstein. That's what.
Fuck that guy.
But that's what you want to be a good person and hope for the rest of the world, but you just know the whole thing's a steaming corrupt pile of shit.
I mean, it's weird
At
though. 'Cause-
some point, not in your nature, not with your family when you're in loving situations, but
I mean, it's weird because they started talking about Epstein and then they got into Shirley Temple.
Oh, that Shirley Temple shit is so weird, dude.
yes, they did.
Well, and it's the weirdest is you're like that's not like so far back. Like you're like that's just
Well, that's like when Kamar and I were talking about Pinocchio. It's the same fucking
We've
thing.
had debates, and I think you've defended Hollywood of being so creepy. Just they're not all whatever.
Yeah.
Blood sucking
Yeah.
people. But they were all blood-sucking people at some point. And maybe they're getting better.
It's not that everybody who works for Disney is a pedophile, but Disney at its core, the infrastructure, the scaffolding is all built by pedophiles.
But this wasn't
That I can
Disney.
get
This
behind.
was like MGM or whatever.
whoever.
But there were only 4 huge studios.
yeah.
It wasn't like
and they were all Nazis.
and they're all
Kamar,
horrible.
my whole point.
All horrible people.
My whole point was this: is when you see those Shirley Temple scenes, there's a good chance that there was someone holding a boom, going, "Well, this is super fucked up."
Well,
No,
really?
No, I don't think so.
the
I
one
don't
where
think
fuck
he
so.
outta
licks
here.
his finger
Hey, this
and
is show
shoves
business.
it up
No.
her
Fucked up
ass.
stuff.
yes,
That is the weird. That doesn't even make any sense.
But this is my point: is so what I'm saying, Kamar, is I
And
have
just people are too
yes,
afraid to speak out.
Yes, I have a tough. You know what Hollywood's like. There are people that are like, if I say anything, I'm losing this fucking job.
Or that was just normal back then.
I
there's that too,
think
yeah.
it leaned that more that way. Than
My
it was
point, though- my
everyone's
point, though,
what
is-
the fuck's going on? You're like, you go up for a job and you're helping on a porn shoot, but no one told you. You're just like freaking out.
Look, it wasn't. I'm gonna get my numbers wrong here, but 100 years ago,
Yeah,
13-year-olds got married and had children. You know what I mean? Like it didn't take long to. I say I got my numbers wrong because I don't know if it was 100 years ago or 200 years ago.
yeah,
but
yeah.
point is, fuck it. We haven't been civilized for that long, So
Who knows?
I mean, there's a difference though between being like we weren't civilized yet, and like it's one thing being like, yeah, I married this 13-year-old, in 1904. We had 10 kids and we lived together for. It's
Your
another.
cousin.
It's another to be like
It's a different time.
Okay.
My
My point was-
progress we've made from that time. We should be happy every day instead of thinking we can't make things better.
well, that's
But
Pinker's point.
we haven't made any progress though because Epstein has an island now instead
Well,
of
no, it's
but hold on.
not. It's not in movies. It's not.
People are putting their thumbs
Yeah,
up.
but you're missing my point. Is like the
asses.
You're missing my point. Is we've done this weird thing where we've brushed it under the rug and act like it's gone away just because we haven't put it up in Hollywood movies anymore. That's what I'm saying. It's still of like it.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I would like to see Drew Barrymore on Joe Rogan, because was 8 when she was
In
movie star,
E.T.,
and she
yeah.
went off like she had a crazy.
Well, she
and
was
she's
doing
come out the other
coke
side.
at like 11.
Two like shows just what, because there's some obsession with kids or people too. Like Goonies, there's movies that we just go where kids were like doing crazy stuff. Like they could do stuff too, and they shouldn't. They shouldn't think that. That shouldn't be an idea. You should just like grow up, play, have fun, but not have to do like
Well, what do you mean be people too? Like you were a kid, you wanted to do adventures and stuff. That's
And,
what
like,
Goonies
dance
is.
on a train
Didn't
with
have
a
a
bunch
big
of guys?
social message.
I don't know.
Dance on a train? What train are you talking about?
All the people in these movies were fucked up. So was it like someone wrote a good story about kids and it ended up there were weird people on the movie sets, or was it a whole thing? Who knows? Who knows?
I see. You're saying like, did someone write a script full of kids so that they could bring them onto the set and like Michael
it's
Jackson
convenient
it?
to do it like
yeah.
this.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Oh, I see what he's saying.
That's what I was lost too, but now I'm with him. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure some movies worked like that. Goonies doesn't seem like one of those movies, but what do I know?
It's a.
I get what he's
it's
saying,
a jump
though.
in time period, and I'd be interested to see
Isn't it a Spielberg movie?
possibly, but like the Little Rascals
Yeah. Yeah.
working conditions around there.
No, I'm sure Buckwheat had it pretty bad.
I'm not saying anything. People who take drugs and say it made me want to do gay sex and are suing. Like that's the best.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
You know what it reminds me of? Remember Walter White's fugue state? Do you remember in Breaking Bad where he's like, he ends up in the desert with Tuco and Jesse Pinkman and they end up killing, Hank,
I remember.
Hank kills
Yeah,
Tuco
yes.
and he sees it happen and he's like, fuck, I have to figure out a way where I can get back to my family and explain why I've been gone for like 4 days. So he makes up this bullshit story and ends up naked at like a supermarket.
Yeah.
It's the same thing where like your wife catches you having gay sex gambling and you're like, oh, it's you know what? It's this fucking drug I've been it's this drug for sure. The drug I've been taking.
brilliant.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
You'll be like, listen, honey, I'm going out this weekend and I'm taking this drug.
Yeah.
I just want you to know.
And it's been making me feel squirrely.
He on purpose got naked, like in the grocery store, whatever, to support the whole.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna
Whoever
suck a guy
wrote
off in a
that,
public
I
square.
hope that got at least nominated for an Emmy.
Breaking Bad, I think it won many.
Do you guys think what a friend is has changed as you get older? Your perception of like what you expect from a friend.
My perspective of what a friend was changed when I stopped drinking.
Oh, interesting.
It was one way, now it's another way.
Yeah. Well, because
but it hadn't evolved, sort of.
you just convince yourself that these people are your friends because you see them often. It's like you know what I compare it to, like work friends, because I think we've all had work friends in the past where like you get along really well with them, super cordial. You see them at work, great, and then you stop that job and getting together with them. You're like, well, now we have nothing to talk about. And like it's kind of the same thing where once you stop going to the bars, like now, if I walk into a bar downtown, let's say I know that 50 people I know are going to be there. They're all going to be cordial and nice. Oh, great seeing you. But after that first 5 minutes, they're all going to be at the bar talking to each other about shit, and I'm just going to be kind of on my own. And
Unless you want to pursue up with people.
yeah,
That's
and
going on.
you realize, and I'm not that guy. I'm happy to sit on my own.
well,
but
like I'm sorry. go ahead.
no. I was just going to say, you realize quickly that like you surround yourself with people that you say are your friends. In reality, they are acquaintances. They're not going to be there for you when the shit hits the fan. Like a friend is someone that if you called on a whim in a pinch, in a fucking real jam, would drop whatever they're doing, barring like, you know, they're at their wife's death, but like someone who's going to help you move or drive you to the airport, like someone who's really there when you need them. That's a friend.
What's that old joke, right? A friend will
That's
help you
David
move.
Tell.
A best friend will help you
Move a body.
A dead body.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like you know, now that I'm almost 40, I'm comfortable saying like I have, you know, 5 friends. I have a bunch of family that are
Also, you're not going to make new friends. It's impossible. Like it's not like I'm not going to make friends, but
yeah, I mean, I'm also not an easy person, so I can't imagine someone like being like, I want to be this guy's friend. Like
It's been a long time since I've made a new friend. You know what changed? Golf. Not having golf, I was like, oh, well, I see.
you found out who your friends
A lot
were.
of these people I just golfed with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's just like I've worked jobs for a long time and
Yeah.
talked to someone every single day and never talked to them again, ever. That's a weird one. And I thought they were friends.
You know,
These acquaintances.
What's funny though, Kamar, is I still have shit from when I'm a kid, like we all do. Like I also don't think anyone likes me. So like if I met someone, nobody hear me out. It's, you know, they were talking about like the guy, like Rich Benoit was talking about the guy at the Starbucks, like
the faceless man.
the faceless man. Like I'm sure there's been times where someone's been like, man, I'd really like to be friends with this guy. But I'm sitting there in my head going, this person hates me. You know what I mean? So there's a weird disconnect there where like even if someone wanted to be my friend, there's this huge wall up where I'm like,
But that's like your feeling, and that'll go away.
what do you mean?
You feel like this person hates you, whatever, and then an hour later, you're like, maybe they didn't, or you bear with you. This person hates me always now.
No,
I'm walking
I don't.
around
Even,
this person-
I don't keep it with me when I leave.
Because it's not true, right? Or it's projected. Like you don't know.
It's just me probably not liking me. But at the end of the day, like it's not easy to. Also, you know, like think about Simon. Simon's a busy guy. Like how's he going to make friends right now? Because he can't. You know, there's not a lot of time to give up.
I think it's more of an age, time, experience thing. I don't I can still make a new work friend, but then like DJ.
Yeah,
Like he's a great guy. Like I love this guy, but I'm like there'll be a time I don't talk.
It is
to this
DJ
anymore.
then.
It is.
yeah,
It
okay,
is.
yeah.
What's funny is they started talking about gambling, and she went off in this tangent about what friends are and therapy. And Joe's like, "What does this have to do with gambling?" And you just realize she was just filling airtime, which she says she doesn't want to do. It's Whitney. We love her, but there are a lot of movies in this game. Have you guys seen Willow?
Of course.
I fuck with Willow.
Oh, here we go.
It's the JRE movie game. The time has come again. For Matt and Simon to rack their brains to guess the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE movie game. Come on, take it away, baby.
It's the movie game. Welcome back, everyone. In this game where Simon and Matt go head to head. Figure out what year a movie came out and how much it cost to make and how much it made at the box office. This week we're doing Willow. Don't you know when I am drunk, I am still in charge. With Val Kilmer, I thought they did Val dirty. Talk about him in this. Like I think he actually got sick. Like,
He's very sick.
Very sick. Yeah.
and they sort of like, how did he let himself go? It's like modern science wasn't there for Val.
It's so funny you mentioned
Well,
that.
I didn't know about that, man. I didn't know that he
So the
was
documentary, yeah.
withdraw. No, I didn't.
Have you seen the documentary?
I haven't seen the documentary. Did they talk about that?
No, but I meant like if you saw it, you'd have a lot more empathy and
I feel they
understanding.
did him. I feel they did him dirty, and it's a tragedy. Well, it's not a
Wait,
tragedy.
hold on.
Life is life.
Hold on a second. In this documentary that made you so sad, did they talk about the fact that he could have gotten help but wouldn't take it?
I don't believe so.
Oh, because he was
They
a
tend to omit
Christian
stuff like
scientist.
that.
Yeah, this is what's going on here.
Hey, that's super interesting. That's good backup reporting, Simon.
Either way,
Changes everything. Fuck Val Kilmer.
But I think they talked about it though. This I learned it from Joe.
Yes, they
Yeah.
did. They did speak about it. Yes, Kamar. It's so funny you mentioned that because at the job I used to have, there was like trivia cards everywhere. So often I'd read trivia to the guests just to like fill time. And one of the trivia questions was this beefy actor from the 90s. And the answer was Val Kilmer. But I was like, why would they throw beefy in there? That's such a fucking dick. Like,
No, what was it? It used to be a beefcake. I think that was like a term of endearment for men from women.
this was like from this
He was a
question
real
was from like
beefcake.
2 years ago. Yeah, this was not what they meant. It
of
said
that.
beefy.
Oh, meanie. Hey, just side bonus. Take a guess at who directed Willow.
Spielberg?
Rob Reiner.
I think Ron Howard.
Oh, Ron.
Classic,
Ron
classic.
Howard.
In-
I actually knew that
in
too.
the same conversation. Those guys.
Shit. I have
So-
a year, Simon. I'm ready with a year.
Wow, already. Jesus.
Well, the
Christ.
preamble there was like 5 minutes. I figured you'd be
You and again. When were you born?
83. Oh, now I got to change the year. Fuck. No, I'm going to stick with the year. Am I going to stick with the year? I am going to stick with the year, yeah. It's funny. We it's like you ask me what year were you born? So many people that listen are like, I haven't heard half the movies you guys fucking do.
Because they're
they're young,
people.
yeah, so, like, you
Hey,
know.
young people.
I mean, if you think about it, like how many movies from the 60s have you really seen? Like front to back? Probably not.
Most of them. There's not as many. There's
There were,
independent-
though. That's what I'm
independent
saying. No,
films
no,
are
but there was
way
a-
less movies than
Come
there
on.
are now.
I'm just saying, you didn't
Plus
watch
all those movies.
Okay, what year do you have, Simon? I think we have the same year.
1989.
Oh, I have 88.
May 20th, 1988. We
Whoa.
are in play, Matthew. We are in
Wow,
play.
I'm
But you're
s-
close. Honorable mention to 89. You guys are very good on the it's all coming down to this.
I nearly changed it too when you said what year were you born. I would have been so bummed.
I wanted for my own selfishness to know how old you were when this came out to
Yeah.
say, and then I almost said, well, you must have watched this. You didn't see it in the theater, sort of
No,
thing.
no, no,
but
no,
I couldn't go
no,
that.
no, no.
It would reveal too much.
Okay, how much did Willow cost and what did it make?
Starring, by the way, Warwick Davis, Val Kilmer, Joan Watley, Billy Barty, and Gene Marsh. So it was an all-star cast, but it was a classic movie.
Okay, I'm ready. I am ready. Rip, roaring, and ready to go.
Okay, I'm ready to.
You go first, Simon.
Hold on a second.
He's not ready. Big
precious
pump
song.
fake. Big pump fake.
Do you know who wrote the story of Willow?
No.
Big guess, too.
Who wrote the story of Willow?
Wrote Willow. Is it like a screenwriter or is it like a book? Oh, you won't even give us a fucking... Okay.
Come on, man.
Nick Cassavetes.
Respect yourself. Could have done it.
J.R.L. Tolkien.
George Lucas.
There you go.
George Lucas
Okay.
wrote
Yeah,
Willow.
exactly.
Very
It is
was this a
another interesting
Lucas
little fact.
Films?
No,
I'm ready.
it was just his
Let's
story.
go.
So weird.
Before
Go ahead, Simon.
I said it cost $7.5 million to make, and it made $89 million.
Wow, we're super close on the box office. I said it cost 22.5 to make and it made 86.4. Kamar doesn't
just
look
a little
happy.
shy there. The budget, $35 million.
Oh.
So you're really close there. That's a really good start. And box office, I guess by rules, is 137.6 million.
that's
It's a
no good.
win. It's
No,
a win.
no, that's
It's
not a
within
win.
50 of the.
But what did you say it cost to make?
86. I was exactly
No,
50.
to make. To make.
Oh, 22.
22.
You're off by 7 million.
Either way, I don't give myself a win there. No chance.
But a great start. That was exciting. That's a movie game. Thank you. Brought to you by nobody.
Better help.
Oh, brought to you by BetterHelp.
And Lee's Market Jerky.
Get your beef. Hedy Lamarr. Had you ever heard of Hedy Lamarr?
Yes, I heard the name, but I
But she's like this crazy actress and inventor.
yeah, I didn't know
And
that
it
she
feels like
invented Wi-Fi and the internet.
she's like suppressed by the patriarchy or big patriarchy or whatever. Like
Big men.
big men. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
Why?
exactly what-
Is she black?
I've never heard. She sounds like she should be like a Albert Einstein. Maybe not Albert Einstein, but just
Like a Laura Secord. We should be hearing.
what the
I
fuck
don't
did
know.
she do? She
No,
she
no, just 'cause
notified
we
the
I was
used
gonna
to-
say Americans hate Laura Secord.
It's just because we had those.
yeah.
Still
Part of our heritage.
Part of our heritage
She's
commercials.
not Canadian, so we wouldn't have that angle. But it just seems like she's a very interesting person. You only hear about Greta Garbo, Marilyn Monroe, like the starlets. Like it's just interesting. If that was suppressed by big men,
Have you seen that? There's a Marilyn Monroe movie coming out.
Big men.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It should be big male.
big. No, we like big men.
I like big men. I think we had decided.
As a third, big pharma,
Yeah.
big religion, big men,
Big men, yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Do you?
No, I still like big male.
Okay.
Woody Allen. Have you ever seen his movie Bananas?
No.
Do yourself a favor. It may just be too dated, but it is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Because Woody Allen is a weird one because maybe he married his
No.
daughter. No, he
It's not
didn't.
that weird.
So
it's
I-
like definitely egregious.
I misread that.
Oh, it's pretty normalized now that fucking.
No, I meant
Elon's
when he.
dad is
I meant
doing
when
it.
he was like, "It's not that." I was like, "Yeah, it is." It's
But
It's weird. It's weird. And I get it. Like, some people are like, oh, well, he waited until they had divorced. I don't care. It's still your daughter, man. You
Yeah.
fell in love with your daughter. It's fucking weird.
okay, but some of his movies they were just saying, yeah, he's just sort of a pervert and his movies had no stories. And I disagree with that. He had some, the one where the guy's out of focus? They just show up to the house and it's just filming a scene, but the guy's blurry.
But
Like,
is this one of these
Yeah,
issues
you
where
gotta
we
focus.
just have to be okay with the art and fuck the artist? You know what I mean?
see. Here's the problem. I'll say this.
Because I don't think the art's very good. So I'm
Well,
like,
then-
well, fuck the artist.
fuck
You know?
democracy and philosophy and everything.
Okay, hold on though. Here.
What?
Hold on.
Why?
I just want to say this. I think there's a difference between like, let's take a Michael Jackson. Let's say he's alive and well today. Okay. It's one thing to say Thriller. It's one thing to say Thriller and Billie Jean and ABC and all these things were brilliant. Okay. You can sit there and go separate the art from the artist. But if you find out at one point this guy likes to gaze into the asshole of young kids, and then everything he makes after that you continue to support, I think that's a little fucked up. Because again, you're feeding, like, you know that someone has a problem and you're feeding, like I said, it's one thing to go, oh, you know, Billie Jean is fucking an incredible song still to this day. Doesn't matter what he did. That's fine. You can say that. But I think if Michael Jackson was still alive and well and we knew what
R.
we
Kelly?
know today, R. Kelly's a perfect example. If
No,
he,
but he'd be R. Kelly'd
yeah.
now, or possibly. If,
But I'm just saying, like, R. Kelly went to jail. So there's, like, that's a criminal charge.
Yeah, like you burnt all your R. Kelly albums, right?
No, I have a shrine upstairs. No, but like, that's my point is if R. Kelly didn't go to jail, but everything we knew about him was true, I think it would be pretty egregious for you to continue to purchase any new music he put out.
she does a weird joke about R. Kelly in her special
Oh, yeah?
where she's talking about stuff getting canceled and then goes on a rant about how you have to cancel Remix to Ignition, but the whole time she's just twerking and fucking the floor and like just getting down to it.
Who are you talking about?
Whitney.
Cummings.
That's who we're talking about. Yeah, that's my opinion of the separate the art from the man or the art from the person. Like, again, I don't think there's a problem saying Michael Jackson was a brilliant artist.
Yeah.
But then you also have to put a big caveat and go, he also liked to get kids drunk and stare into their anus.
If like what Joe brings up with the other guys, but the castrato thing, like he's an abused child. Like at some point, it's
Listen, I'm not sitting here saying like if he was alive, we
doesn't
should hang
justify
him.
what he did.
Yeah, I'm just saying you know.
No, it is a really interesting question though, because like, what if we find out one day that Da Vinci was like the Epstein of his time?
I think we know
You know
that.
what I mean?
Or Michelangelo, one of them was
Do we like what then happens to the Mona Lisa?
nothing. Separate it, and we can't cancel him. We can't bring him to justice.
Okay, but it definitely like you're no longer walking around with like a Mona Lisa shirt on. Like he might not be canceled, but like
But that's
you know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know though. That's a weird one because it's still a beautiful piece of art. Like if tomorrow Banksy got Me Too'd, right?
yeah.
Like if you found
okay, sure, perfect.
but and you had a Banksy piece of art that
Yeah.
you really enjoyed, are you
Yeah.
taking it off the wall at that
No,
point?
but if I have like a Banksy T-shirt, maybe I'm like just like I don't want to wear this anymore. He's now associated with child fucking or whatever it is, whatever that egregious thing is, and
Like if you found out the Mona Lisa was a 14-year-old girl that he was fucking, that
Yeah,
would be a
ex-
different story.
well,
But again,
it would have been normal back then, I guess.
well, that's also a way to look at it too. We got to look at the time and all that, right? So
Well, Banksy's a better example because
it's modern day.
modern,
Yeah.
and it's something that you would actually wear. Like, what if one of the Beastie Boys? You know what? It doesn't matter.
no, but it's an interesting
Yeah.
conversation
It is,
because
it
at
is.
what point
No,
do you
it's just because Kamar's wearing that shirt.
at what point do you draw the line?
But I just watched. I saw it almost. I think it was Disturbed. BC Boys, like old 1987 VHS of them in a hotel room, and they're just smashing the place up. Girls come in, they just start spraying whipped cream all over them, pouring honey in their hair, just thinking it's hilarious and groping them, and it was you wondered it was so real. It wasn't it was actual footage of them. They're 19 or whatever, and they've completely separated themselves from that. And I was like, that's the behavior that was going on. I was loving the music they were doing. They were such a disruptor. I think people forget that. Like Tekashi 6ix9ine, like they were hated by the mainstream at the time.
I mean, it's also weird to hold like a 19-year-old accountable for
Who they
Yeah.
ended up growing.
That's it, and
changing.
they ended up growing into good people. So it's I think there's and it's not like they were just normal young kids. They were thrown into stardom. I mean, on their own accord, obviously, but being a young star has got to be different too. Like
Well, they were pretty exploited too, I think, on that first album. You know what I mean?
most likely, first of all,
100 they didn't make a dime off that.
The music-
and they made them hate Ray Rubin and
Russell Simmons.
Russell, who's totally like living on another island.
But
he
it got
Me Too'd or
them airplay and made a name for them, and then they got to make Paul's Boutique and Check Your Head. So
something, which bombed. Paul's Boutique bombed. They lost all their money.
I mean, Kamar, I
and
think
then
most
they made it
successful.
back on Check Your Head.
I think most successful artists would say they made very little on their first successful project.
But the biggest problem with Paul's Boutique was all the samples. They say you can't afford to make that album ever again.
Of course.
All the clearance on all
Yeah.
the things. And so after they made Paul's boutique, they picked up instruments.
Yeah.
So then they figure we like these crazy sounds. We'll listen to something, but we'll play it sort of similar, and that's why you got the more diverse. And they're rock rap, like they're revolutionary. I think, but now I'm so conflicted because they would hate me.
If you listen, Dr. Dre's Explosive there's a song by like a steel drum band called like the Baco Boys, and the song is called Explosive, spelt with 3 X's, and he just redid the steel drum is like and he just redid it on a synth, and I don't think he paid for the sample. I think
well, is that a sample if you recreate it?
that's what I'm saying. So, but that was the thing is Dre did the same thing. He realized after a while because he got George Lucas sued the shit out of him for starting his album with that THX sound.
Oh, it sounds so good.
But he just recreated that sound?
No, that one he stole. That one he used, and George Lucas sued the shit out of him, which is so ridiculous.
That's old school thinking.
It's a weird thing to me though for George Lucas because it's like, do you think that he sold all those albums based on the fact that it starts with a THX sound? Like, that's a weird.
No,
Yeah, man. All those people thought they were getting Star Wars.
George.
It's a
George
Joe Rogan
Lucas-
experience thing.
You got
George
it.
Lucas is a struggling artist,
That's true.
and he was
Yeah,
getting
he's
cut
got
out.
fucking mouths to feed, man.
Whitney.
Because ranch runs itself.
Whitney loved herself some Top Gun.
Yeah.
And you've got to think that's the limitation because they were talking about G-force and the sonic boom, at least for hypersonic traveling for humans in our atmosphere, if that's what it is. We can't go any faster, like without our bodies just exploding.
Yeah.
There's the limitations of just physics.
Barring some X factor.
Yeah, to try and do it in one of those fucking archaic jets.
Well,
but if you're going up in a Tic Tac and you're moving time and space in front of you, you're not having to worry about those G-forces. They don't exist for you.
Because I think there might be a difference once you get out of this alleged atmosphere into space. All of a sudden you can go really fast, but it's not like... Do you understand what I'm saying about the G-force?
Yes, I do.
That's gravity. Once you get away from gravity, then you don't have to go for like 20 years to get to 20 light years away or whatever it is.
Yes.
Well, what do you mean? Like the space shuttle presumably goes into somewhere very, very fast, like faster than those
And that
airplanes.
that whole time,
No?
not faster than those airplanes.
Really?
No.
I don't know that.
Okay, I don't know either.
that.
Simon, think about. Well, just hear me out.
Hold on,
When
I'm
you-
gonna check right now.
When you see like a ship going up into space from like Cape Canaveral, it's going fast.
Oh no,
but, like,
that's not takeoff. I'm talking like once it gets into
Yeah, but how
Yeah, but
far is
that's-
it going?
hold on, but
How
that's-
far is it going? It's
Yeah, yeah.
going 5 kilometers
It's
or
ditching
something.
that
Simon,
The
rocket.
plane's going
Simon.
60 kilometers in a second.
what Kamar's saying though is once it gets into space, at that point it's moving at fucking astronomical speeds, but there
Allegedly.
are no Okay. I guess we have to say everything with allegedly.
Well, I'm putting in how fast does space shuttle presumably
Yeah, exactly. Because there's going to
Yeah.
be 2 numbers. The truth.
You
allegedly.
gotta duck go this one.
Well, what I'm saying, that from liftoff to that alleged point where there's no more gravity on you, you're going, like, it would not be sustainable to do that for...
No, for
Well, I
6 months.
I guess if you're traveling hypersonic, it would be that for 5 seconds. Like, you just go up and down and land somewhere else.
So again, all of this in air quotes, you know how Kamara and I feel, but like any other object in low Earth orbit, a space shuttle must reach speeds of about 17,500 miles per hour or 28,000 kilometers per hour to remain in orbit.
That's to remain in orbit in space.
Sounds legit,
Whatever that
man.
means.
That's fast as fuck.
So that's fast as fuck.
Yeah.
Sounds legit.
None of it sounds legit.
No.
It's like,
no,
so have you heard the
First of all,
throw away the facts.
you know how they were talking about the James Webb? What episode was that in? Because
The telescope?
yeah.
Not in this week.
Okay, anyways, so last
talked
week,
about it.
last week they were talking about the James Webb, I think,
no,
whatever.
we were.
In the post joke.
We were talking about them shooting the pictures of things we've never seen before.
But they
They're
can't turn it
taking
around.
pictures of stars that are dead.
Yeah.
It's that same fucking scam, man. It's crazy. They're explaining it the same way. Like, what are these pictures of? Oh, these are pictures of star clusters, but don't worry about them. They've actually died 10 million years ago. We're just going back in time to take the pictures. Like, this whole fucking thing is crazy, dude.
You
It's
snapped.
crazy.
You'll be back. You'll be back. Then they got into Elon and talking about the machine thing in the head. What's it
Okay,
called?
just-
oh, no, I'm Theo Vaughn now. Look at me.
Elon. I'm not going to get upset here because I think that takes away from the seriousness of the situation. But Joe has a real problem. Like, think about what happened last week, okay? When he was defending Elon for having all those kids. Joe's pretty much just, he's not coming out and saying it, but he's saying, like, he's better than you. He should be having all these kids so we can make more Elons, you know?
The one thing I'll say, and we love Joe Rogan, is the way we talk about it, he knows what he's doing. However we perceive it and are bothered by it, he knows what he knows how to talk. Like,
is it him that knows what he's
doing,
doing,
how to
or
play the game?
Is it the Neuralink that knows what it's doing?
I don't think it's
whatever alien entity Elon is, like in the top of that machine that looks like his body, whatever his alien species is, they are constantly just leaking cum.
How do you have to always go there? But
no,
yeah,
I'm just this guy. I get it. Like he is just that's part of their thing is just constantly breeding. But think about like all the old tales, the Anunnaki, the Greek gods. They're always coming down and fucking the Earth girls to make hybrids. This is exactly what Elon's doing. And Joe's just like, oh yeah, more fucking hybrids.
Well, they didn't poo-poo him that bad, but she thought society was held together through lies and omissions.
Well, that sounds about right.
Doesn't it though?
That sounds about right.
Just for everyone involved here.
That sounds like the glue that holds this whole fucking popsicle stick contraption together, you know?
Listen,
don't think too much about the fact that they're taking pictures of stars that actually died 10 billion years ago.
I think if we all looked into money, we'd immediately be like, oh.
Well, you know how the reserve started, right? Like, it's such a fucking scam. It started as a...
Put on your tinfoil hats.
No, but it really is dumb, man. Anyways.
My point is just that, though, is like, if you really looked into any, like, established thing that we have, like, again, money's a perfect example. You work your life to have it. It controls your life in many ways.
Yeah.
And if you look deep into it, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. You are not free.
Yeah, this ain't right. And they can just print it? And it's not backed by anything?
I was talking to this guy.
And not only that, it was like...
guns and butter.
We're going to write on a piece of paper... Here, take this. Now you owe us $15,000. You know what I mean? And the money is fucking, it's not even real.
Well, hold on, though. That's always what money was. Just debt.
I know. It's crazy.
No. When I'm saying when money was real, like when it was backed by gold, that's what the paper was. The paper was, this is debt that is backed by gold somewhere. That was fine. That worked out.
Presumably.
Fair enough.
But I don't think that, here's my point, Matt.
Yeah.
When they created the National Reserve, or I don't know.
Federal Reserve.
Federal Reserve. The idea would be that they had all this gold there to be able to pay out, but they never had the gold. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, my point was even when they went
They only got the gold after everybody repaid their debts.
You guys are agreeing.
Anyways,
you guys are
crazy.
agreeing.
It's crazy.
But she talked about people who sing, or girls, I guess. Like, what are you thinking? And there are times in my life if someone asked me what I was thinking and I actually said what I was thinking, the thought is terrified. Do you ever?
Well, that's why I always find it funny when girls ask
something
that.
Fucked up, and someone asks you something, you're like, you know you're lying. Like, but you could say literally what I was thinking, and I wasn't thinking you're about to ask me, or I don't know, what a cool place we're at. Like,
it's also
for me, I can imagine it.
There's also the other side of that where a lot of the times they're like, what are you thinking? And it's the most mundane. Like, I bet in Simon's world, if Halima's like, what are you thinking? He's probably like, I was thinking about whether ducks could be aliens just given their corkscrew penis and the fact, you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
that's funny. Like, if that's the stuff you're thinking
Some
about,
animal
great.
dick
I get the
related.
impression that he's like thinking about some real fucking sicko
some dark
shit.
shit.
Sometimes, man. Sometimes. Yeah, so lies in a mission or
Like,
complete
trust
truth.
me, I just want to know if aliens are into bestiality.
She talked about people who were going to therapy, but just with actors and pretending to have a seance and then coming out and going, I think I molested you. Like,
Oh yeah, that was that was crazy. That was crazy.
Like how out of our heads we were like, I just felt a spirit told me that I fondled you. And
You
that was
really
just so-
got to believe in that cult though, right? Like to do the mental gymnastics to make
Yeah.
that shit fly.
Yeah.
But that's what I like when you're in Scientology, just back to our faves for a second. Like you do all the shit, you know what I mean? You pay all the money for all the courses. You do this for years and years. You sacrifice and sacrifice. And at some point they say, oh, you're now at level whatever 12 and you can find out what this is all about. And when you find out what it's all about aliens, which for me would be fine. You know what I mean? But like after you put your whole life savings into that shit, like you have two choices at that point. You're either going to like absolutely abandon that and admit that you were part of a fraud, or you are going to carry that fraud out for the rest of your
You
existence.
can't tell
you know?
people if you're a drug dealer you got robbed.
Simon starts a cult called There Better Be Aliens.
Something like that. Well, we just tell you up front, you know?
We really hope.
Yeah.
So that's it. We're done with Whitney.
She's got great tits. Like she's so hot. That's my last thing. But yeah, no, she's
Just
got
had
a
to
special
throw-
out. Check it out.
Had to bring it to the lowest common denominator at the end.
I hope she takes it as a compliment.
She's definitely hot. I think she's hot in like a lot of ways too.
Well, she is funny. She is talented. She's such a superstar. I want her to be chiller. Like she's so successful and she's still like on edge. But like you said, she's a comic. The comic brain. We think of this, you know, like we're comedians. I don't like that so much. I think everyone has a comic brain. I honestly believe.
I
Just-
don't.
But
I think some people are just boring as
but
fuck and walk
you
around
sit
the world
and you
not.
think whenever you do an impression, there's a comic brain. Something in your brain's going, do it like this, different. Like I don't know explain what that
Yeah,
is.
I
but
might,
that's-
but I'm just saying I don't think everyone does. Dude, I meet so many boring ass people out there that
Everyone's
I'm like,
trying to make jokes, even if they're good.
I
or
don't
bad.
know. I don't know.
I mean, everybody tries to make jokes sometimes, I think.
That's it. We'll pick that up on the next one because we learn all about joke writing, or 2 from now. I'll rate it.
Jock writing?
I'll give it a 2.5.
I give it a 2.5 because it was so depressing. It wasn't uplifting. Like everything's this fucked up. That's fucked up.
I like Whitney. I
do.
whatever. This episode wasn't my jam.
I'll give it a 2.5.
Oh my god. We have an agreement. As Simon runs out.
THX.
All right, we are gonna pay a few bills and we'll be right back.